Somebody say, oh, 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 oh. Hey, 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 hey. Live me life. Live me life. Somebody say, live me life. Live me life. Somebody say, live me life. Live me life. I don't got no time.
WEFM, the new fresh sound.
Voice of the Man Bongo Prime representing for Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9.
WhatsApp us or call us at 457-9997. Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
And good morning to everyone, and we are back with you for another Activated Mornings program here on the WEFM. In studio, you have Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza, Samuel, and we are happy to be here with you. Are we the happiest folks alive? I'm not sure. But we could strive to be, actually. We could strive to be, all right? No matter what the day presents, find something in that particular day, at that particular time, or in that particular moment to be happy. There's always something to be happy about, no matter the circumstances of our lives, all right? Always. I believe so. I strongly believe so, all right? I'm saying it with my chest. I strongly believe so. All right, good morning to you, Dianna.
Morning, Roleza. You know what? In whatever moment you're in, whatever that difficult thing is, to try and focus on the bright side, think about something that you're looking forward to after that particular time or that event. Let's say you're at work and you are just feeling so annoyed, you're ready to go home, you don't want to be there, but you want to think of something that is going to help you to get through the morning. Probably you had a piece of food in the fridge that you really want to eat. You know, think about that, like, oh, you know what? After all of this, I'm going home to eat that piece of food. Or maybe you have some cake. After all of this, I'm going home to eat the cake. Focus on that and you should be happy.
You know, there are times when sometimes like we sound like we're trying to convince ourselves. So there are times when people are going through whatever it is they're going through, and the worst thing they want to hear is people saying stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, the reality is there is always something to be thankful for. It's just that sometimes when we're going through our moments, we wouldn't necessarily see it, right? But yeah, that's the best we could do to try and motivate you this morning. And I don't know who falls in that category, but that's the best we could do to try to motivate you, okay? All right. So, yeah, we are here with you guys. Good morning to Prince Collins. Oh, morning. And I think Wendell might be in that mix there. So good morning to Wendell and Mrs. Joseph, the usual suspects on the live. All right, so let's quickly head into our scheduled topic for right now. We are doing a little bit of tourism in focus. Yesterday, morning, Bob. What you saying?
He said he's here at work in his office and was just waiting for the alert when we came on.
Oh, we here, man. We here. All right, so we're just going to do a bit of tourism in focus. Two interesting articles came out yesterday. The first on One News. So I'm just going to not read it in full, but just read parts of it, right? So the headline is SVT Tourism sector to train 2,000 new industry workers ahead of major hotel openings. So approximately 2,000 new tourism industry workers will need to be trained by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority over the next 48 months to meet growing hotel demand. So this is over the next 4 years, right? Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture, Carlos James, made the announcement on the 5th, which was yesterday, adding that the training is needed to meet the workforce requirements of major resort developments now on the way. So I'm skipping. So he says the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Authority, in collaboration with local training institutions, will roll out specialized programs over the next 4 years in areas such as front office operations, food and beverage service, culinary arts, housekeeping, guest relations, and supervisory skills. These initiatives are aimed at building a skilled workforce to meet both current and future demand. All right, so this is about more than staff in hotels. James said it is about investing in our people, creating sustainable livelihoods, and ensuring that St. Vincent and the Grenadines continues to deliver visitor experience that reflects our warm, professional, and authentic culture. All right. So that is something that is happening there. We know that there's a lot of tourism development happening here on St. Vincent. Well, on St. Vincent in particular, in terms of increased activity, but St. Vincent and the Grenadines on a whole. So over the next 4 years, there is the intent to train at least 2,000 new persons within the tourism hospitality sector. All right. So that was, just a synopsis of the article there on One News St. Vincent. There's also another interesting article on St. Vincent Times, and it is about Airbnbs that are fueling our economy or helping to create incomes for persons. So Shelley John, Director of Sales Canada for St. Vincent and the Grenadines Tourism Office, stated in an interview during the Vinci Picnic Day in Canada that St. Vincent would not be able to accommodate the current number of visitors without Airbnb listings. In 2024, the island's Finance Minister Camila Gonçalves noted that approximately 600 villas, guest rooms, and rooms in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are available for rent on Airbnb, with roughly 70% of these properties located in the Grenadines. John further stated, we don't have a large hotel capacity, so Airbnb rentals are definitely presenting themselves as a viable option, one that visitors are embracing. Some people prefer to cook for themselves and immerse themselves in the local culture, and Airbnb has proven to be well suited for that. All right, so you can have a greater read of that particular article on St. Vincent Times. Just to end, it is an income earner for many. Some Vincentians living overseas operate Airbnb properties exclusively in St. Vincent. Others residing in St. Vincent rent out rooms via Airbnb. It is a significant shift and a real game changer. All right. So we are not only just seeing the development or the advancement within tourism, but also within that advancement, the increase in room stock. All right. So
to go back to the training, it's good that these trainings are being offered. Of course, this is not something that is just happening for the first time. So it's really good that they're getting trainings, they're having opportunities to learn, network, and so on. But to look at it from another angle, it's one thing to get the training, and it's another thing to put the training into practice. And, I often wonder how many of these trainees, how many of these participants in these workshops, when they leave the workshop, they actually take the information as something important. They actually see it as something that they should be putting into practice, and not somebody just trying to enforce rules on them, or somebody just trying to be, some sort of way. Because sometimes you have people going to these trainings and you meet the same people at their workplace in hospitality, and it's like, they ain't did nothing, man. So that's... I really do hope they take it serious. I hope they understand the importance of dealing with people properly. And, hopefully we could see some better things here.
Okay.
On that one. For the Airbnb, I'm interested to know if somebody could go to the bank and ask for a business loan, or whoever gives out business loans to build apartments for an Airbnb or something like that, and that would be cool.
It's property. You could take a mortgage. Fix it up, but you mean a specific business loan just separate from a mortgage? That's an interesting question. I ain't sure because remember, in a lot of cases, it's more in many cases, it's residential properties that are being rented out. Those are what are being listed on the Airbnb. So yeah, maybe because
just
I
in
mean,
case you want to actually build something for that purpose,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just go back to the point that you're making with the training. Well, we see it happen many times where persons go for training and it's not being put into practice in the workplaces, right? But this is where the role of the supervisors, the direct supervisors, or the managers, owners, or whoever would come into play. In that, remember, the reputation of your business is highly dependent on how your staff treats the customers. So it is one thing for the staff to get this training, but it's also another thing for the supervisors and the managers and whoever to ensure that that training or what is supposed to happen is carried out. Now, I know that I tend to hear within the service industries that turnover can tend to be high, right? Because, persons don't take the job seriously, or they might be pulled up for whatever reason. Let's say they're not very hospitable to whoever it is that they're dealing with. So that is one of the challenges, that sometimes within these service industries that the turnover rate is high. But for me, when I read this, I looked at it in a bigger scale, because I now think that all of us as Vincentians now have to be exposed to, if not training directly, a lot more marketing in terms of being a welcoming nation. Now, in our general interaction with people, we are cool, right? We know how to talk to people. We know how to make people feel at home, etc. But in terms of being in a service, providing in a service capacity, we still have persons going into business places and saying that the type of the customer service that they receive isn't the best. Persons are not greeting them with a smile. And I think way too often that we think that customer service only has to deal with persons, let's say within the hospitality tourism industry, or persons who are dealing directly with customers, front of the line operations, those who have to do face to face. But it's about all of us, right? Yeah. It's all of us. And I think way too many times that we think that in order for us to recognize that we have a visitor to our country, that it has to be a white person. Because we now have a lot more persons coming to the island of St. Vincent in particular. I think in the Grenadines, they have it down pat, because they interact and they treat people in a hospitable manner because of the fact that they are so used to having visitors on their island. But for us here on mainland, on St. Vincent, I think the marketing has to be pushed. I know that there's the tourism ad where tourism is everybody's responsibility, and there's another one where you don't just, the way in which you talk to the visitor, you talk to the local with the same way, right? So I think that marketing push has to be done here on mainland, so that we know a lot more about customer service, given that we are having this influx of individuals, right? To finally end with the Airbnb. This is one of those great opportunities for persons to get a passive income. And by passive income, I mean you're just renting out your business, your space to individuals. Because many times persons will be complaining about the salary is not enough. And I will agree that as Vincentians, in a way, most of us need to have two sources of income, right? Because sometimes the one income just ain't going to cut it. If you are trying to achieve certain things in life, right? So there are many persons, you have, let's say, the downstairs of a property or whatever the case might be. You fix it up and you rent it out. You increase the room stock here and SVG, but it's also a way for you to be able to earn some money, some additional money on the side. So when it is that I read of this, I was happy to see it, right? Because not just about providing spaces of accommodation for persons, but it's also a good way for us to be able to make some extra funds. Yeah. And truth be told, I was hoping to become a millionaire over the weekend, so I could have done just that, but it went to Dominica. All right, but it is something for persons to consider. And what it is that I will say as my final thing is that if you are fixing up a space to rent out to an individual, please try to put yourself in that person's situation if they're renting a space from you. Don't just rent out something for the sake of renting out something, please, just because you want to earn an income, right? the reputation of your business, because persons do the ratings as well. You get a higher rating, it's going to be an encouragement for persons to want to stay with you. So don't just put up any and anything as a way of earning an income or trying to get persons to come. Try to also think about not just the reputation of your business, your place, but also the reputation of the country as a whole. All right. We can't be selfish at this point in time. Oh, we shouldn't be selfish at all, but you know what I mean? All right. And with that, we are heading on out of this segment and heading directly into today's